Con artists of Reddit, what is the most successful scam you have pulled? This guy I took a math class with in college told me about how in the 90s he set up a fake tech help hotline and charged the most per minute possible. He would then go downtown dressed in a suit and go to a random office pretending he had an interview and act surprised that he was in the wrong place and beg to use their phone to figure out where he needed to go. He would then call his hotline and pretend to have a conversation for just over a minute, so he got paid for 2 minutes, and thank the receptionist and leave. I had the highest amount of points for my middle school 4AR tests. The answers were hidden in the source HTML on each question. I won a trip to Pizza Hut in a limo at the end of the year, but I was the only one that got enough points to go, so it was a little disappointing. I may or may not have my high school diploma, but I definitely have a college degree. I have been going with the line, well, I needed a high school diploma to get into the military, so I must have one. My school's admittance officer has been searching for proof of my high school diploma for about 3 years now. Walking into the bus station fare paid area through the illegal bus bay entrance while holding the fare in my hand, pretending to be confused, looking around, wondering where I should pay. If I got caught, I just play dumb and pay. Never got caught. I made fake coupons. Anything within a store with a UPC barcode I cold generate a UPC barcode for. This was in college when 4 lockers were insanely popular. I made lots of BOGO free coupons that I sold for those. Anything and everything from cigarettes to Bagelbites to Xbox 360s. The key was printing them no gloss paper to make them look and feel real, no matter how ridiculous the discount was. They all scanned and only high priced items got turned down due to suspicious discounts, for example 50% off Xbox 360 and controllers. I even had a Cookit barcode scanner at home that I tested them with. It got to be such a huge thing that it made the local news, and then I stopped. You can learn a lot of cool illegal crap on the internet when you're bored during summer break surfing 4chan. Back in 2002 I pretended I got hacked so somebody would give me a jeb. I sold it for 200,000 near points. I watched my friend's dad steal a large, expensive generator from Home Depot. He put it on a flat cart and just walked out cradling a small dog with one arm and holding a cancelled credit card and an unrelated receipts in his teeth. He nodded at the guy at the door who checks receipts and just left. That was the day I knew what it was to be flabbergasted. I knew a contractor at my old job who would get cabinets from Home Depot, fill them up with whatever expensive crap he wanted, pay for the cabinets and walk out. I made a fake OkCupid profile of this insanely hot girl I went to high school with, just to get a feel for my competition as a guy. Ended up getting 100 plus messages per day. I added an Amazon wish list to the profile and told all the visitors to get me something if they wanted my attention. Got a $280 Coach watch and a $400 purse in the mail a few days later. Gave them to my mom and sister for Christmas that year. Apparently dudes get pretty thirsty. At a summer concert, a random drunk girl offered me $20 for my freshly refilled 1-liter water bottle. I quickly accepted and vanished into the crowd. This was totally a friend of mine, not me. Managed to get a cut off the local weed dealer's monthly profits by selling him small vials of a special fertilizer that he, my friend, could get from a special connection. Every month he'd get about $200 just by giving him a sealed package with a few vials. One for each vase. It came with instructions. 3 drops per day. The drug dealer was ecstatic with how much faster the plants were growing and how much better the weed was, and had no problem in giving him a part of the profit. It was just apple vinegar. This went on for half a year before the guy went in. He never knew the truth. Back in college we would occasionally have parties where we sold shots to make some extra cash. This one particular night I was on bar duty and the hard stuff was running low. In a panic I ran into the kitchen and found this pre-mixed alcohol in the fridge. I started selling shots to people, and it proved to be really popular. So popular that I gave it a name, Woodpecker, and started raising the price to keep it from disappearing so fast. At one point the shots were hovering around $5.10. The next day we were tallying everything and I mentioned how we made about $80 off this one particular bottle. That's when my roommate started laughing his ass off. It turns out I was selling non-alcoholic whiskey mix. He bought it at the grocery store for about $3.50. Whoops. I was in the 2nd grade. I had horrible eyesight but didn't know that. My desk was at the back of the class where I couldn't see jack crap on the board in the front. So I did badly in school. My teacher had a token system for giving out extra goodies to kids who finished assignments or did other good boy good girl things. The tokens were these pink computer punch cards roughly cut into squares. But I never got tokens because I sucked at being teacher's pet back then. So coming in from recess one day, I am walking in line like a good sheep into the classroom, and I notice a stack of these pink punch cards on the counter in the back of the room where I sat. I sneakily grab a bunch and as the teacher read Mr. Popper's Pequins to us, I sat at my desk with my crappy scissors cutting those pink cards into little squares. Now, my teacher did not exactly track who she gave tokens to or how many she gave. I just went up to her a few times a week after that with my counterfeit tokens and got candy and puzzle time and a bunch of other stuff. It was nice and I never got caught. Not me but a friend. He managed to get a Target uniform and borrowed a Target name tag from his older brother. Then during Black Friday, he came in and during the chaos of the night morning he walked off with a TV and Xbox. You don't even need a uniform, just a red shirt. One time, in high school, there was a 0.25-cent soda machine outside of Walmart. I bought a soda, went inside Walmart, and the old lady at the door put a sticker on the can. I then put that sticker on a name brand can of soda, and snickered my way out of the store with my pilfered pop. Been led in the thug life ever since. I once convinced this girl to start dating me. Haven't figured out what to do next. Marry her, live your life with her, treat her amazing, then, on your deathbed, pull her close and with your final breath whisper, "I got you good you sucker." Don't know if this counts as a scam, but I got about $30 from a vending machine. I stuffed some paper towel up there in the morning so that it would catch people's change. They'd go to the cafeteria and be reimbursed so I didn't feel like I was stealing from my classmates, just the school. Lunchtime, I took out the paper and it was like winning at a slot machine. I didn't have a stamp to mail a thank you letter, so I put the return address as the address I actually wanted to send it to, then walk down the street and put it in my mailbox. It probably wouldn't have worked if it wasn't a local address. A year ago I was poor as frick, and my roommate got a coupon from an online food delivery service, $8 off your meal, with no minimum spending. I live in Mexico, where $8 can buy you lots of food, valid once per account. So for 2 weeks, I'd create an account using a 10-minute mail service and order food for free, or at most for 50 cents. To make things more interesting, I lived in an apartment complex with like 150 different apartments, so each time I'd choose a different apt number, and then ask the delivery guy to leave the food with the receptionist for convenience. I think I conned like $200 that way. This was a long time ago when I was in high school, but there used to be this golf store in my hometown with an indoor driving range that would let you take your own clubs in. My dad was a bit of a hoarder and had several sets of old golf clubs in the garage. I would take one of his old woods with a head cover on it to the golf shop and would use the indoor range. While there I would sneak the head cover on one of the new expensive drivers they had and would walk out leaving the old club behind. We used to have this used sporting goods store called Play It Again Sports and I would take my new driver there and sell it. Did this several times over the summer between my junior and senior years. Over a decade ago, a universally despised company whose name I shall omit was offering people one iTunes song, worth $0.99, for their email address so they could spam market their products to them. The way it worked was they sent you an email and you had to click the link to confirm that the email was valid, and then they sent you a gift code for one song. The way they checked you hadn't done this more than once was through cookies. God bless their hearts. Deleted the cookie, blocked the website from setting new cookies, opened dozens of free email accounts, automated the sign-up process via macros, and had 3 computers running 24/7 getting about 15,000 codes until $despised company ran out after a couple of days. I had to spend many dozens of hours selling bundles of codes on eBay at a 30% discount, so it ended up requiring quite a bit of work on my part, but I did end up clearing $10,000 after a few months and used it to take my then GF on a trip to New York. No regrets. In high school I sold matchboxes full of chopped weeds as weed. I had steady buyers. I also bought fake diet pills from the back of P mags, early 80s. They looked exactly like pink hearts, black beauties, yellow crosses, and red devils. Paid $20 for a bottle of 100. Sold them for $2 per pill. I told the kids my family was mobbed up. I was the man senior year. The kids would pay with singles and quarters, so my pockets would jingle when I walked like a cowboy's spurs in a cartoon. For a while when I was 17, I sold used underwear to fetishists on Craigslist. It didn't start off as a con. I did actually try wearing them, but I wasn't, producing a whole lot, so I began using a crusty concoction of tuna oil and mosaic glue. $2 Kmart underwear and paste equals $80 profit. A video game's worth a pair. The best bit was receiving congratulatory messages afterwards about the beautiful scent and texture of the fake vaginal discharge. Whenever I'm sad, I think about slimy old men jacking off into my crusty fish knickers and can't help but give a fond smile. We were 18, drove to a gas station, grabbed a 12-pack and brought it to the counter. It was maybe $10. When cashier inevitability asked for it, I tossed $20 on the counter, grabbed beer and hauled ass to the still idling car my friend was driving. Was quite the heist. I don't think that's how a heist nor a hustle. You paid the man to forget the id, then sprinted away from a minimum wage employee who doesn't care enough to chase. Told my mom my Geopet died. Got a new Geopet. Had 2 alive Geopets. AMA request. When I was younger I got a summer job as the ice cream man for an ice cream truck company. The pay was super crappy. I received 0 wage. Had to pay for half the gas and only got a third of the profits from selling the popsicles. Which isn't a lot considering a popsicle is only $4 or $5 and you have to drive around all day to find very few customers. To supplement my income I bought a bunch of bulk boxes no name brand popsicles, creamsicles, fudgesicles, drumsticks, water, chips, and whenever people wanted to buy the company's products I would give them my items and keep all the money. They eventually fired me because my sales were so low. Free movies in theaters. In high school, me and a friend realized that theaters will give you a refund for your as long as the movie has not started yet, even if the ticket is ripped. We also realized that the person ripping the tickets gave less than 0 shoots about their job and would rip a ticket without looking at the movie time. Put these two together and you can go to the theater, buy a ticket for a movie that starts in 3 hours, walk in and get it ripped and go see any movie you wanted. After your movie is done you just go to the counter and make up some excuse for why you can't see the movie. They give you a full refund and you walk out of there with 0 money spent. Also, you can get the really nice fancy seats for free. In 11th grade I sold a classmate my PC version of Halo Combat Evolved. He asked me the next day about a registration key and asked if that was because he was using a Dell. I told him yes. I sold the school fundraiser chocolate bars for $2 a piece, normally $1 each, and ate half a box. Here is a lesson for you youngins. Selling candy in school is lucrative. Take your money and invest it in candy and sell it for like 3 or 4 times the original cost. I sold the parking permits at the school. They drug tested kids for parking passes. No one checked the logs of the cash. They sold for $50 a semester and they had unlimited passes. My competitors sold photocopied passes with no legit records for $80. I got $150 for a legit pass and records to back it up. They caught and expelled my competitor and I made about $5K that year. I am no con artist, but there was time many years back when I had no choice but to run a con. If I didn't run this con, me and my friend would have never enjoyed as much Taco Bell as we did. I went to a small college in the far north. There was a guy who used to hang at the edge of our group who talked constantly about loving drugs, Hunter S, etc. There were few drugs around to be had, but we would take a few of the vitamin C's we had in our dorm room and occasionally sell them to Phil for a few buck a pop, claiming they were Vicodin. Then go get Taco Bell. Our master caper was one night we needed a lot of Chinese food, so we ground up all the baby laxative that my roommate had been given by his mother because his tummy was off, and sold it to Phil as blue coke as the chopped up pills were blue. That was some great Chinese food and only ran us $40. Phil later reported he had been up for days on a coke binge. I imagine he was up for at least some reasons. 10/10 would sell Phil drugs again. His immune system rocked and he was regular. I convinced 3 kids I got duped into babysitting that I was Santa disguised as a regular guy, and I was putting together a good bad list to get them to be good and leave me alone until their dad got home. It all started on IMVU. Some of you might know about this site. It's a chat room for teens and adults. You get a little avatar. I had bad luck on this site. I was around 14 and I decided to make a female avatar to trick guys into cybering with me, then make fun of them. Well, then I learned I kinda liked it. A few years go by and I'm doing it on a different site. This time I'm a 16-year-old girl, and I meet this man who wants to be financially dominated. I figure this is my lucky day and do so, making fun of his dong. And he starts buying me crap on Amazon and shipping it to my house. Honestly, I don't know how I got away with it, because I gave him my real name, saying it was the girl's boyfriend. He wanted to webcam, but obviously I couldn't do that. I had been photoshopping pictures of random girls to look like this person I was pretending, going so far as to put fake sticky notes with his name on them. Eventually we cut it off, because I was asking for too much money. I retired the girl, and started using a different one. Lo and behold, he messages the new girl. It's insane. And somehow I get him to believe that I'm the original girl's cousin, and we'd been having an incestual relationship. He started buying more crap for a while, then we cut it off again. Like this video and this good boy will play you a nice song. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.